Hello, and welcome back to the Jamaican Geologist YouTube channel. I decided to do this video today in honor of World Water Day. Today we will be discussing the disciplines of hydrogeology and hydrology. So let's get started. So water really needs no introduction. Uh, It is essential for life, and we all consume it daily in one form or another. So it's just water. Water is pretty unremarkable and boring to most of us. Uh, it is said that 70% of the world, of the earth, of the planet is covered by water, but only a small fraction of that is fresh water, which is fit for human consumption. So, what is World Water Day? And why is that important anyway? Like, it's just water, right? Well, it's an annual United Nations observance held every year on March 22nd, and it started in 1993. And it focuses on the importance of fresh water, which is critical for human life. It's a critical resource. And why is it a critical resource? Because over 2 billion of the 8 billion plus people on Earth do not have access to fresh water. So, yeah, 2 billion of 8 billion, that's just as a minority, right? But it's a large minority because 2 billion people is still a lot of people that don't have access to fresh water. And this year's theme for World Water Day is glacial preservation. For more information on World Water Day, I have linked the UN water website in the description. So, what does geology have to do with water anyway, right? And how does this fit within the context of World Water Day? Well, as I shared in my first video, there is this misconception that geology is simply the study of rocks, when really it's the study of the physical earth. And water, just like minerals, which I introduced in my previous video, is a geological resource. So, with that, I would like to introduce two subdisciplines within the geosciences related to water. They sound alike and they are very similar, but there are some key differences. So these definitions I'm about to share with you were sourced from the Oxford Dictionary of Geology and Earth Sciences. I will link the Amazon in the description so those who are interested can make a purchase if they so desire. But going forward on this channel, I will get all my general definitions from this resource as I find it to be an excellent reference material. So, hydrogeology and hydrology, two sides of the same coin, because they're really both about the study of water, right? Uh, Hydrogeology, as defined by the Oxford Dictionary of Geology and Earth Sciences, is the scientific study of the occurrence and flow of groundwater and its effects on earth materials. Hydrogeology, on the other hand, is defined as the study of the hydrologic or water cycle. While it involves aspects of geology, oceanography, and meteorology, hydrology emphasizes the study of bodies of surface water on land and how they change with time. Okay, so we have a fancy definition or fancy definitions from this geoscience dictionary. But let's break it down even further. So the word hydrogeology has a prefix and a suffix. All words have prefixes and suffixes, and as you'll discover, the more I speak about things on this channel, you'll see that a lot of fancy terms are used in the geosciences, and if you really break them down, you can figure out what they mean. So hydrogeology, the prefix hydro means water, and the suffix geology is the study of the physical earth. So the full meaning is the study of water as it relates to the earth, which is geology. So you think of groundwater, like water underground, and think of aquifers. That is what hydrogeology is. Hydrology, the prefix is hydro, which also means water, just like hydrogeology. Hydrology's prefix is the same. And the suffix comes from the Greek word logos, which means the study of. And so the full meaning is the study of surface water movement and distribution. So if you think of lakes and rivers. Well, let's go a step further and let's look at them side by side. I have this table here. So the simple definitions: hydrogeology is the study of surface water movement and distribution. Hydrogeology is the study of groundwater flow and its interactions with geology. So one is surface water, the other is groundwater. It is that simple. Hydrogeology focuses on aquifers and groundwater recharge. Hydrology focuses on rivers, lakes, precipitation, that is rainfall or snowfall, and then runoff. Hydrology is focused on short-term processes like rainfall events, while hydrogeology is focused on long-term processes like groundwater storage. And the main concerns, hydrology is concerned with flood prediction, river discharge, and drought, while hydrogeology is focused with groundwater availability, contamination, and extraction. So think of wells, for example, extracting water from a well. The key process involved in hydrogeology, or hydrology rather, is the water cycle, infiltration, evaporation, surface runoff, while hydrogeology is concerned with groundwater recharge, in the rock and the soil. The methods used, we have rain gauges, stream flow measurements, and remote sensing for hydrology. While for hydrogeology, you have well drilling, pump tests, and geophysical surveys. And they're both important. So managing floods and droughts and surface water quality, that's the concern of a hydrologist. And a hydrogeologist would try to ensure safe groundwater supply and preventing contamination. So, these are just the key differences between the two disciplines. So do we do this sort of thing in Jamaica? Are there hydrologists? Are there hydrogeologists here? Well, I know when most people hear about water in Jamaica, the entity responsible for water, they think of the NWC, the National Water Commission. But there are other entities too. There's the National Irrigation Commission, there's the Rural Water Supply Limited, just to name a couple. And I think I may be missing one or two. But for the context of this video, I want to introduce the Water Resources Authority. The Water Resources Authority, or WRA, manages, protects, and regulates Jamaica's water resources while maintaining a hydrological database and providing data, information, and technical support to various institutions. And believe it or not, NWC, the National Water Commission, is one of their biggest clients. And many of my colleagues, during my time as a geologist in Jamaica, many of my colleagues who do hydrogeological and hydrogeology work, this is their place of employment. It's either there or they are like private consultants. So think about monitoring wells, groundwater flow, measuring the flow in the island's rivers to make sense of like flood data, rainfall data. This is just some of the work that they do. And I will link a JIS video in the description of a few of my colleagues highlighting their work. I will also share the link to their website in the description. And speaking of their website, there's a pretty cool feature on there that I will share with you all, and you can check it out if you're interested. Okay, so what I wanted to show you guys is the water resources website, and particularly a very cool feature that I found and I've used over the years. So this is the main page, the home page. When you go here, you will go to resources, and then from resources, you go to water information system. And it says here that you're to enter the username as guest, password as guest. So let's do that. And then the password is guest. And let's sign in. And we have this interface here. Now there's so many different things: groundwater flow direction, the parish, caves, wells, all sorts of stuff. But let's select a couple of things. Let's select the parish and let's select wells. And what we want to do now is submit. And it'll load a map of Jamaica. And all these points that you see here, these are all the wells. So information related to the wells, and you can click on a point and then you'll see the information comes up, which parish it's in. It's a drill well, latitude, longitude, and usually they also have some information related to the type of aquifer that's there. So if it's a alluvial aquifer, if it's a limestone aquifer, that sort of thing. And you can add as many variables as you want. So I could close this and then I could click on all layers again and add some more things. So for example, I want to see caves. So I'm going to turn off the wells for a little while and then submit. Then I can see caves. So I think they have some information here on caves. These are all the caves that they've identified or on their database in the island. And I can just click on a cave and I can get information about that cave, where it is, direction and the source, where the organization that they got the information from. So it's just something cool to play around with. And I thought I'd share it with you guys. So this is the end of the video. Um, you know, commemorating World Water Day, I wanted to speak about one of our main agencies responsible for the water resources in the island, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.